Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm in my darkroom and I'm making some prints at the moment from a shoot that I did earlier on. I'm going to show you that video in a moment, but basically I went out with a Mamiya RZ67, a roll of Ilford FP4 with intentions to pull the film but also take a grey card with me, and I'll do some grey card metering, some spot metering and some incident readings. So let's get on with it. I'll show you what I was up to and how I was metering my scenes, and then we'll come back in the darkroom and I'll show you a few prints that I've made already. So today I'm at a place called Fishbourne on the Isle of Wight, which is where there's a car ferry terminal where you get the car ferry over to Portsmouth over the other side onto the mainland. And today I've come out to take photographs of this little tiny hut here, or this little tiny boat shed, and the clouds are pretty nice. So I'm hoping to get a few nice shots. Now I've got a roll of FP4 125 film inside the camera, and at the moment I'm in a dilemma whether to shoot my photographs. There goes the ferry. Whether to shut up, mate, talking, and I. Whether to shoot my photographs with the sun out or with the sun in. I've got the choice because the sun's coming in and out of the clouds. I think I'm going to shoot my photographs with the sun out and pull the film to 32 ISO. So effectively, I'm overexposing my film, but I'm going to underdevelop when I get back after shooting the film. And that will give me a lower contrast negative or flatter negative to work with in the darkroom when I'm making a print. So to do the job for me, I've got the Sekonic Light Meter, and I've already punched in the ISO at 32. I've got an incident reading on this, and I've also got spot metering modes as well. So I'm going to try the same scene with different metering modes just to see how I get on. So I'm going to do an incident reading of the scene and also a spot metering of the scene, averaging. So I'll look at the shadow and the highlight area and then work out an average. And I've also bought out of me a couple of grey cards. One that I bought, which ain't too great. It's got a bit of a shiny surface. I don't quite like this one. So I made my own using an old Teeshirt, which I measured on my light meter, and I also measured this with my mate's Kodak grey card, and the readings come out very similar. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's fabric. Like I said, made it out of an old T-shirt. It's fabric, and as far as I'm concerned, pretty much on 18% grey, and it does me well. Incident metering is where you measure the light falling onto your subject. The meter will work out an average of your scene depending on where you place the lumisphere and the film speed or ISO that you choose. The reading it returns, you simply dial into your camera and take the photograph. Spot metering is where you are measuring the light reflecting from a particular area of your scene. The meter will only ever return a value of middle grey, and it's up to you to decide the best exposure value for your scene. In other words, spot metering on a white car will make the car grey at that reading. Spot metering on a black car will again make the car grey at that reading, or thereabouts. If you spot meter the light falling onto an 18% grey card, your reading should give you the correct exposure for your scene, and again thereabouts. Now with this incident reader, I'm going to point it back towards the camera. If I point it up there towards the sun where the light source is, it's giving me F22. Okay, fair enough. If I point it back towards the camera, it's now giving me F16. Well, of course, if I'm pointing the lumisphere towards the sun, it's going to the lumisphere is going to see it as a very bright scene, and it's going to give me a smaller aperture to shoot the scene, which might come out a little bit underexposed. I don't want that, so I'm just going to point it back towards the camera, even back towards the ground a little bit. It's giving me a 30th of a second F16. So 30th of a second F16. Pull the mirror up, leaf shutter. Number one shot done. So that was the incident reading photograph I just took, F16 30th of a second. Now let's do an average spot metering. So I'm going to use this meter in spot meter mode. I'm going to take one reading off the brightest part of the scene and one reading off of the darkest or the shadow area of the scene where I've got a bit of detail, and go in between, make an average. We'll see what that gives us. So all I'm doing at the moment, I'm just looking for the brightest part in the sky on the clouds, and it's given me near enough F22 at 1/25th of a second. So I'll just put that in my memory, and it says 16.6 on the meter, but I always round it up to the closest stop. And now I look for a shadow area, I would say down near the water on the brickwork there. No, it's not, it's just underneath the guttering. Just underneath the guttering, which is F4. So if I dial that in, that gives me an average of 1/25th of a second, say F11. Well, I want to shoot this at F16, So I'll come down to 1/60th of a second. So now it's giving me a different reading doing it that way. So a stop darker, pretty much where the incident reader was looking up at the light in the first place. So let's take this shot and see how this one looks. So that's my average spot. So the final bit of metering I'm going to do is just spot meter on a shadow part of the scene, or the darkest part of the scene that's got a little tiny bit of detail, which I think is going to be underneath the guttering. 5.68. I'm not interested in those windows. So it's given me 1/25th of a second at f5.6. That's spot metering just underneath the guttering on the beach, on the boathouse there. But of course that's going to give me middle grade. That's what this meter can only read, is middle grade. So if I took the shot at 5.6, 1/25th of a second, it's just going to make the whole scene overexposed and my shadow area go middle grade. So I don't want that. So I'm just going to drop it down 2 stops. So from f5.6 back to f11 at 1/25th of a second. So that's f16, 1/60th of a second. Let's take that shot and see what it comes up with. Done. So that's 3 types of metering that I've done there, just to satisfy myself which one's going to work out best. It's all experience and playing around with the meters and the film, and obviously the development later on. Don't forget I'm pulling this film. Let's get a bit closer and we'll use a grey card. So this time I've just set up a real simple composition, a little tiny bit of this fence and some of the boathouse as well, but this time I'm going to use the grey card. So I need to get this pretty much close to where the focus point is on the composition, which is over there near the brickwork. And like I said, don't forget this meter only sees 18% grey. So if this is an 18% grey card, which pretty much is, all I need to do is spot meter on this and my whole scene should come out correct. Let's have a go. So just about here, there's no uneven light. Just take a reading off the card. So that's giving me f16.4 at 1/30th of a second. So in theory, I'm pretty good to just punch that into the camera, take the shot, and that should give me a decent exposure across the whole scene. Let's try it. Just got to wait for that ferry to go. That little wake looks quite nice. Let's try it. Done. And if I now look at my incident reading back towards the camera, see what that gives me. That's giving me f16.5, so I'm pretty much back in the same ballpark. There's no point in taking another photograph there. Let's find another scene. Shot done. So this is a nice simple scene here, just this little tiny boat, there's no sky. The only part is some bright highlights going on, but let's see if we can nail that. Let's do an incident reading, back towards the camera. I'm going to bring that luminosphere slightly into the sun as well, so it's not in total shade, because some of this boat's in shade and some of it's not. So I'm kind of going to bring it in out there, see what that gives me. So if I want to shoot to f16, it reckons 1/15th of a second. So with this shot I'm going to take a gamble. Instead of using the grey card or any other kind of metering, I'm looking at that stirrup that's holding up the jetty there. To me that looks middle grey. So I reckon if I spot meter on that and take that reading, that should give me an equal tonality in my scene. So that's pretty much my metering ideas on these scenes that I've taken photographs of. Don't forget I'm pulling the FP4 2 stops, so instead of ISO 125 I'm shooting at ISO 32. Do you want to come by? Am I in your way? Sorry.
No.
You sure? So by pulling the film, it's just going to lower the contrast a little bit on my scenes for me to boost the contrast in either when it's photographs in Photoshop or if it's in the darkroom using the filters. You know, I can control the contrast. I just want to pull the contrast a little bit. So that's the idea of me pulling the film. And I often do this. These are the ways I meter, and this is the way sometimes I develop. It works for me, maybe not for everyone else. So let's get back. We'll develop the film, see what the negs look like, and then we'll get in the darkroom. Hopefully, see what we can do in there with some contrast filters. Boost the boost the. So these are the negatives. I developed these in XTOL, 1 part to 1 part, and like I said, it was a pull process, so I just took 15% off the times for each stop that I pulled. I pulled 2 stops. The massive dev chart said 10 minutes, so 30% off of that is 7, so I went for 7 minutes. I do feel like I could have gone about 8 minutes, but it doesn't matter, there's still workable negatives, and I've got bags of detail in them. These are the first ones here that I took. This one here, which was the incident reading, and then the second one, the third one, the same shot. But you can see there's loads of detail in these negs, and they've all come out okay. This was a mistake. I accidentally hit the shutter as I was composing the shot, but never mind, we'll move on. So you can see there's loads of detail in these negs for me to work on in the darkroom. This one here does seem a little tiny bit punchy, but I do like it. The first negative that I chose was the first shot that I took. In fact, it was the second shot. I didn't choose the incident reading shot. I chose the second one that I did, and I just used a 2.5 grade filter on the enlarger, you know, and there was no jiggery pokery to be done at all. No burning, no dodging. The negative was fine to print as was, straight off with a 2.5 grade filter. I had to do a test strip first of all, and I found that my best time was, can't remember now, 14 seconds, so I just added an extra one to that and gave it 15 seconds, did another test print, and then I was happy with that, went with a larger piece of paper and made my final print. 15 seconds, 2.5 grade filter, poof, job done. And you can see on the print itself, there's bags of tone there. You can see all the shadow detail as well. I'm not quite sure what would have happened if I'd shot that FP4 125. I don't know. I didn't have another roll to play around with, but that's what I did. I pulled the film intending to get a lower contrast negative just so I could work on it in the darkroom, and it came out really nice. And then the second negative that I chose, I realised the negatives were very similar, so I did another test print at 15 seconds, the same as the last print that I made. That came out nice, so I put another piece of paper underneath and made my second print, and that was 15 seconds, 2.5 grade filter. Nice and easy, lovely jubbly. And again, that print came out really nice. Bags of tone, loads of detail in the shadow, and I'm really happy. And the last print I wanted to make was the old shack that was sitting there. It looks like it's seen better days, but I decided to print it anyway, and that came out really nice. I did have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery with that one. The 2.5 grade filter didn't really cut the mustard. It was just maybe metered wrong, I don't know. I used the grey card on that. So the 2.5 grade filter was really attacking the blacks and not really building any whites up. So I went to a contrast 0 filter and I did some tests on that. And with the contrast 0 filter, I found at 13 seconds I'd built up the highlights enough and just started to build the blacks up as well. But I needed to punch the blacks a little tiny bit more with a contrast 5. So I just went at a hunch, put a contrast 5 filter in and burst that off for 5 seconds and then made the final print. And that came out really nice as well. As you can see, bags of tone in that print too. So that's a video showing you guys about how I meter my photographs, and also sometimes I do pull, sometimes I do push. It depends how I'm feeling and what I feel is going to work best for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but like I say, sometimes I push film and sometimes I pull film. Depends on the scenes, depends what I want. In this particular instance, I knew it was going to be a quite contrasty day, so I decided to pull the film just to flatten the negatives a little bit so I could work on them in the darkroom and add a little tiny bit of punch using the filters, and they've come out really nice. They've worked for me. The grey card technique, yeah, a bit of a tight ass. Of course I could go buy one online, but they're only cheap, about $20. I made it out of an old t-shirt. Does me great. But of all the photographs that I took around Fishbourne, I could have just quite easily have used the instant light reading and got away with it there. It would have done the job perfectly. I didn't really need to start doing spot metering and stuff. The incident metering would have done the job, and I know a lot of you haven't got spot meters, so you know that's why I'm saying that the incident reading on that would have done me proud for those photographs. And even if you've got a phone app as well that works and it's calibrated well, that would have probably worked as well. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching, if you did watch till the end, and I'll catch you next time.